Good morning.
Morning, everyone. Today's video is going to be covering some more questions and things that have come up through this past season. We haven't really addressed. We answer the person that
Ask the
questions. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, still there. Anyhow, we're going to go over some of them questions, and plus we have a few more things that we want to add. So what you got there, Vicki?
So this is some of the things that we do to make our day run smoothly, and I hope it's going to help all the new people out there that are just starting out. So here we go. Number one, always show up to your customer's lawn on the day that you're supposed to be there. So if you're on a Monday, you show up on Monday. If it rains, and it's a new customer, just let your customer know that if it rains, we're going to show up the day before or the day after. Because where we are, and I'm sure where everybody else is, you're always watching the weather. And so we have enough, in advance time to know what our weather's going to be for that week.
And we also, she mentioned about schedule, because all our customers are scheduled on the same day of the week, every single week, unless there's a holiday or a rain day in there. And usually we're within an hour every time that we go there, usually about an hour. Because you can't be there exactly, but something happens, you have to trim some shrubs or you have to talk to a customer, but usually within an hour that you're going to be there at the same time every week.
And then, that too, being within an hour, you want to make sure that your route, you're not backtracking. So if you're going, say, 10 minutes out, you want to make sure you cover everybody in that area. So you don't have to come back and then go back out again. Because every time you lose time, that's less money in your pocket.
And that's why we have downsized so much in our lawn care, is because our route covered, heck, it was 25 miles one way to get a group of lawns, and then we come back 10 miles and get another group of lawns, and it ended up being, heck, we spent probably about an hour and a half just driving around. Well, if we get them closer to home, an hour, let's say an hour and a half, we should be able to get 4 yards done. Well, we didn't lose any money because we're not driving anywhere. With all that other stuff out in the end there, or out in the country, we lost a lot of time. And then we're always big yards. Then we're at least 2 to 3 acre yards, and they just took so long. And then we would halfway through the yard, it would start raining, and we have to stop and then come back.
And then, like now, we have one customer that takes us 20 minutes one way to get out there, and there's nothing in between. But because of that customer, and she likes our work, we've adjusted the amount that we charge her. We charge her extra just to go out that way.
That's basically,
and it's working out really good for that.
Yeah, it's basically we upped it a trip charge, pays for our time and our gas to go out there. So she does not have a problem with it because
she likes our work.
She likes us. This is our 5th season with her. Mm-hmm. And she usually the lawn care company would only last about 1 season with her. So she must like what we do. Plus we're closer, or she's closer to our age. That makes a difference too, with a lot of people.
Okay, and the next thing that our lawnmowers and equipment, every morning Mark goes and he gets all the lawnmowers all fueled up, and then that way we're all ready to go. And while he's fueling up the mowers, I usually check to make sure that the trimmers and the blowers all have gas in them, so that we're good for most of the day. And then towards the middle of the day, if your trimmer looks like it's low on fuel, just go ahead and fill it up so that you can just continue to finish the job, and you're not halfway through the job, oh no, I'm out of gas, or your blower runs out of gas while you're doing something.
And another thing that I do is I carry, because we have the speed feed heads, and I always have an extra string in my pocket for if Vicky's trimmer runs out of string or my trimmer runs out of string, because usually you pretty much know how long you're going to go before you run out of string, and nothing worse being 300 feet away from your trailer and you run out of string. So we just, I keep it with me, and then we just spool it up right there on the spot. It only takes 30 seconds, and we're just back up rolling again. So.
And then, you know, like if I run out of string, it's just quicker for me because I haven't really learned how to
Load the strings.
load the string yet. I mean, I'm having a little bit of difficulties. So what I do is I put mine up on the rack, and then I grab Mark's trimmer, and then when he gets done mowing his lawn, then he'll go ahead and string it for
Right.
me. But
Oh.
that's our time saver there.
But most of the time, she just walks up to the mower, and I have the string with me, and I just spit it on real quick, like.
And then the next thing that we found that saves time is if you know that you're gonna go through belts, or I don't know, some other thing that might go wrong on your mower or whatever equipment you're having, make sure you keep extra parts with you and tools to change the parts while you're out.
You know.
Because in our area, we have to drive a half an hour to an hour to get to a parts store
Dealership there.
or
yeah.
dealership or whatever,
Yeah,
you
so
know.
we try to keep an extra belt for every single belt that's on any of one of the mowers. And the Skag takes different belts, and Gravely takes different belts, but we have selection of belts for each one of them mowers. And every now and then I use up a belt and forget to grab another one, so if that does happen, and you remember that as soon as that belt blows. So we try to avoid all that, just try to keep all the parts that, normal wear parts that you're going to go through. Extra sets of blades, we don't really keep extra sets of blades with us because we're usually only 5 or 10 minutes from the house. So we just buzz home, you know, because we always have 2 mowers, so we never have to worry about it. So we just run home, quick, change the blades, which takes very little bit, grab a sandwich or something, check on the dogs, and then we head back out. So it's minimal on us, but we still want to keep all the belts because when that belt goes, it's always the furthest away from the dealership. Always.
That happened quite often with that Protero this past summer.
Yeah.
I was out, you know, I do the front lawn of the 1 yard and Mark always did the back. Well, what happened is I got my front yard done and I got all my trimming done, and he was messing around with the Protero, and then we had to stop and we had to go get a belt. And so we wasted, normally it takes us 15 to 20 minutes to do the complete lawn. It was over an hour.
Right.
Because we had to go get parts and that.
So yeah, that's that Protero cost us a lot of time last year. Yeah, I went through a bunch of belts, but it wasn't all that much money for the belts, but it was just the time that we lost.
Okay, so the next thing is when your phone rings and you have a regular customer that calls, or say a potential new customer, and if you can't get to the call right away when they call, try to return a phone call within a timely manner. Don't leave that person hanging. We've had that happen a lot, not with us, but with other lawn people. We've referred them phone numbers and they've never called them back.
Right.
And it's just annoying. We're trying to help these people out and they don't return the phone call, and that doesn't look good for us.
So we do not recommend very many lawn care people because they don't return phone calls. And it, like Vicki says, it's real annoying because they come up to us and ask us if they can, you know, if we could refer some customers to them. So we try that, and they won't return phone calls. So yeah, we don't do that.
Okay, and the other thing is quality service. You know, quality goes further than the money does. So you want to make sure that, you know, you don't want to get too many customers where you can't take good care of them.
Yeah, we did that. So at one time we were doing 195 yards with all our foreclosed homes that we were doing, and then our yards that were around here, and they were not getting the quality of service they should have been getting because we were in a hurry all the time.
Because we were out of town a lot,
Yes.
doing these foreclosed homes, and you know, we're in a 2-hour radius, so
2.5.
2.5, yeah. So, you know, our local customers kind of got pushed off to the side, which that should have never happened.
But it did.
Anyways, it worked out in our favor because the company that we were working for They pulled out of Michigan, so that
Yeah.
made things a lot better for us.
And then when that company pulled out of Michigan, that left a $45,000 hole that we had to fill, which took a little bit of time to fill that hole back up, but we just don't have big accounts like that anymore because of the big hole. Because you get so accustomed to having, you got your schedule and that's money's all set aside. You're already counting on that money for the season, and then it disappears for next season. Well, now you got to fill that hole. So that's why we don't have the large accounts. That's why we have all small accounts now.
Okay, so the next thing would be to do your job the right way. I mean, it just takes just as long to do it right as it does to do it wrong. So if you do the job right, you don't have to go back and fix what you did wrong, and it's going to save you time and money.
Yes, a lot of it, because we've seen that several times. But the foreclosed homes is a good example of, we would come in after another company was there, and it was just absolute mess. It was horrible what they were doing.
We called it the 15-footers. They go around 15 foot around the house, and that was it.
Because if anybody's ever done any of that kind of work, you have to take pictures before, during, and after. Well, they would be standing alongside the house and take a picture of the lengthways as someone's working, and they'd only go 15, 20 foot out around the house, and it looked horrible. But
And then, a lot of people were talking about me, how I'm the flower bed, weed whacker, trimmer, or whatever you want.
Flower slayer.
Flower slayer. Well, guess what? That's where I learned how to do that, because Mark says just mow it down. Because on those foreclosed homes, they didn't want nothing. They wanted the grass cut. They didn't want no flowers. They didn't want no nothing.
No.
So you just take the trimmer and you just mow them all down.
Yeah,
And what's good about that is when the next year comes, those flowers all come back.
Yeah. The funny part was that, and I'm going to share this little story, is the first day she went with me on a brand new house. And she goes, "What about all these flowers here?" I says, "Make them flat." I says, "They look like weeds on the pictures, and then I'll have to come back." And the look on her face is like, really? I have to flatten out all these flowers? The flower bed was as long as the house, and the house was probably about 50, 60 feet long. So yeah, it was...
Those flowers were so pretty, and I had to cut them all down.
Yeah, it was about June.
But there was nobody there to water them anyway, so they would have probably died.
So yes, we learned a lot on cutting really tall grass and doing them foreclosed homes. And that's where people, when we put out a video of cutting a few tall fields, they don't understand why we go clockwise to push the clippings in, and then we go back the other way and push them all out. Because if you're doing it back and forth, or if you're spreading them all out, going around clockwise and shooting the outside, you still have to go back over it again. Well, if you bring them all on the inside and then cut again and push it all on the outside, usually by the time you get to the end of the property, the clippings are all gone and you're done.
And that's another thing, he's just talking about clippings. When you're out mowing in our area, we have really wet grass in the spring.
Oh, big time, yeah.
And then in the fall we get a lot of dew, and so then it's wet again. But we've seen several lawns where other lawn people, they've come in, they've mowed the grass, and they've left the clippings on the lawn. It just looks so bad.
Right.
If we have that, Mark most of the time will pick it up with a bagger. But on my mower, after I'm done doing my lawn that I do, if I see a few clippings, I just take the hand blower. Or now, because I have a backpack blower, I'll have to try that out. But I spread. I just go ahead and spread them out, and it looks so much better.
Yeah, that runs into the quality work, because you got to make it look good. So we were going to do some viewer mail. I opened up the letter, and it's 5 pages long, so I can't really read that on the camera here. So I might have to read it over, or we have to put it up for the next video. And so that's pretty much going to be it for us for today. Please like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell to be notified for the next videos released.
I hope you all have a nice day. Peace. Till next time. Goodbye.